Welcome everyone, my name is Rita Kahsai. I am Tigray diaspora residing in the UK.
And my name is Rowena Kasai and I'm also based in the UK.
To start with, we would like to thank TMH, Tigray Media House, for giving us this platform. The aim of the show is to reach English speakers and make them aware of what's going on in Tigray. We want to create a space for the Tigrayan diaspora and other English speakers to be a part of the wider conversation regarding Tigray. In today's show, we will shed light on the events unfolding in Tigray.
As of today, it has been 74 days since war was waged on the northern region of Ethiopia, Tigray. This war has seen indiscriminate massacres, relentless artillery strikes, weaponized hunger, and unspeakable acts of gender-based violence, alongside the looting of historical artifacts and sacred places of worship. Al-Najashi Mosque, the site of the first Hijra, Dabra Damo, a sacred monastery that dates back to the 6th century, and others, have been attacked, clearly demonstrating attempts to erase our identity. The actors in this war have long stated genocidal ambitions, born out of an identity that the mere existence of Tigray provokes. The cultural stronghold that Tigray possesses has always posed a threat to the collective Ethiopian identity.
Prior to the war, Tigray was a peaceful region, a place known for its rich and ancient history. The people of Tigray are known for their warm and principled nature and are deeply proud of their heritage. Shortly after Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed came into power, he began reiterating hate speech, inciting violence against Tigrayans across Ethiopia, resulting in high levels of internal displacement and the death of many. As well as anti-Tigrayan rhetoric, the federal government of Ethiopia cut federal budget subsidies, withheld personal protective equipment, and detained the entry of equipment needed to combat the desert locust outbreak. Armed conflict may have begun on the 4th of November. However, acts of systemic violence against Tigrayans began long before.
Tigray is a region fighting a war against regional, national, and international forces. Regional forces from across Ethiopia have been called to join the war on Tigray alongside the Ethiopian National Defense Force. The federal government has committed a treasonous act in joining forces with the Eritrean government against its own nation. This act alone violates the country's sovereignty and highlights the lengths Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed will go to maintain his vision of being Ethiopia's 7th monarch. This covers a brief insight into the contributing factors that have resulted in the war on Tigray. At present, the most pressing issue includes mass starvation. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs reports 4.5 million people in the region need emergency food assistance. Although the Ethiopian government has claimed humanitarian corridors are open, aid agencies have reported hindered access from key areas, as well as the precondition that it must be administered by the central government. Food is not reaching the millions in Tigray that are starving and living with the trauma of yet another war.
To add to the pressing issues Rowena mentioned, there are war crimes being committed. There have been almost daily reports detailing accounts of harrowing acts of sexual violence. This was recently corroborated by an Ethiopian general regarding the capital Mekelle, which is under the control of federal government. The refugees in Sudan have fled massacres and other grave atrocities committed by invading forces, particularly Amhara regional forces and militias. There have been reports of men, women, and children being slaughtered like chickens. It has also been reported 750 civilians who were seeking refuge inside the sacred Mariam Zion Church, which famously houses the Ark of the Covenant, were taken outside and murdered. Eritrean troops, said to have massacred hundreds in Mariam Dingalat Church in Iragahamus. The Irob Advocacy Association reported many civilians have been killed in Irob and some abducted by Eritrean forces. Private and public property, such as schools and hospitals, have been looted, and many fear that the Irob land that belongs to the Tigray region, may be permanently annexed into Eritrea. Given these pressing issues, what do we demand for the people of Tigray?
Ultimately, we need unfettered humanitarian aid into Tigray and all invading forces out. The first demand is an immediate cessation of hostilities. Put pressure on your respective governments to use its influence to this end and call for an all-inclusive dialogue. Each passing day brings untold misery and loss of life and property for vulnerable children and their families. Demand an emergency food supply and assistance to be offered immediately since all the harvest has been destroyed, looted, or burnt. Demand the complete withdrawal of Eritrean forces from all Tigrayan areas and compensation for looted property. Demand humanitarian access to all Tigrayan areas. Demand a full third-party investigation into the atrocities committed during this conflict.
To have our demands met, we urge you to do the following. 1. Contact your government representatives and express your concerns. Ensure you outline the issues mentioned and state your demands. Request a meeting, and if possible with other Tigrayans in your area, and make a direct plea to be taken further. They are required to listen to your concerns and take action.
2. Contact parliamentary groups that work on relevant issues in Ethiopia and/or the continent of Africa.
3. Contact your respective countries' government development institutions. For example, in the US, it would be USAID, and in the UK, it would be the Foreign Commonwealth Development Office.
4. Contact religious leaders in your respective countries. For example, the head of the Catholic Church, head of the Muslim Council, and head of the Orthodox Church. Religious leaders have large influence in politics.
5. If you're a student, you should raise your concerns with key figures in your institution and present the reality of the conflict in Tigray. We need to exhaust all possible avenues to raise awareness. If people are not aware, nothing can be done.
6. If you haven't already, please reach out to your local Tigrayan community. There is always something you can offer. Do not underestimate your value in the struggle. Visit the omnatigrai.org website and find your local organization and support them in their tireless efforts.
Please make use of the Twitter app and ensure you use the correct hashtags. Twitter is a platform that gives us access to prominent figures and world leaders. We need to utilize this.
Starting from Saturday, 16th January, there is a week-long Twitter campaign targeting the Biden administration. Please use the campaign to voice your concerns and raise your demands. You can find tweets templates on the Omna Tigray website as well as Stand with Tigray. It is crucial we use this campaign to emphasize the dire reality of civilians in Tigray and ensure the US takes a firm stance against it.
There are some rules for this and any future Twitter campaigns. Although liking and retweeting is good, it does not count or add to the pool of our overall efforts to make our subject trend globally. You must write your concerns and use the relevant hashtags. So for today, you'd use hashtag Tigray genocide and hashtag Biden take action. 2. Please be mindful in using the correct spelling. You can write your concerns in any language, but ensure your hashtags are correctly spelled and are in English. Our aim is to reach the global leaders, not argue with or convince other groups of our plight. So focus on getting your message across.
So going forward, as we said earlier, we want this to be a platform for English speakers around the world. If you have any specific ideas you would like us to discuss or guests you would like to see, please get in touch with Tigray Media House.
Exactly. Please let us know what you would like to see from us. This will be a weekly English program. እና ትግርኛ ትከታተሉና ወለድ ተጋሩ እዚና እንግሊዝኛ ፕሮግራም በብሶምን ክንቀርብ ኢና እና ናይ ትግርኛ ተዛረብቲ ክትከታተሉና ተደልዮም መልእኽትና ከተዘርግሑልና ንሓትት
This is a difficult time, but we must remain strong, remain steadfast, and keep our shared goal of a peaceful Tigray at the core of our activism.
At Jonah, take care of yourselves and each other. Work together. We look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.